Credit card travel hacks, minimal packing tips, and great flight deals are all amazing pieces of travel. But the greatest travel hack of all is actually getting off of your phone to enjoy and experience the trip that you worked so hard for. The average adult spends 4 hours and 37 minutes on their phone per day. That is about 1 day a week, 6 days a month, 70 days a year, and 12 years over the course of a lifetime. 12 years staring at a phone, consuming feeds. That's just depressing. Envision this. You spend thousands of dollars to get your family to Europe, Spain specifically. You want to experience the Spanish culture, indulge in tapas, spend time with your family, but instead you get sucked into your phone, checking email, feeling that vibration in your pocket or that ding in the middle of a conversation that takes you from an actual experience into a neck-rounded, hunched-over posture that blocks out all real interactions. Between the algorithms on social media, the advertisements on maps, and the constant flow of mind-sucking, attention-grabbing content, it makes you wonder, are you navigating the world, or is your phone navigating you through the world? In this video, we're gonna go over 5 simple steps to turn your modern smartphone into a dumb phone so you can keep it in your pocket and keep your head up to enjoy and experience the trip you work so hard for. The problem with actually having the self-control to ditch your phone altogether while you travel or get one of those dumb phones, they're kind of popular,
right,
is you lose some important abilities. And a couple of them off the top of my head are maps, really helpful when you travel, or WhatsApp, like the global way to communicate.
Right, that's important. Or like ride shares, or actually QR codes also.
Great point. These are all things that while we're traveling to look at menus or something like that really help. We've also used the language translation apps a ton. That's been super helpful. And then don't forget about this amazing camera that's in your pocket for all those, random park pictures and beach pictures of myself. Now that you understand the importance of turning your modern phone into a dumb phone, let's jump into the 5-step process that I used for my iPhone. Some of these will apply to Android, and there might be other tips and tricks. If you have any, please drop them in the comments below. Quick disclaimer before we jump into things. I'm doing my best to figure out the audio and volume to make it sound crisp and nice. All right, so to give you a quick behind the scenes, here's the setup. Got the mic right next to me, and now I have a huge comforter here, all right, that I've brought from downstairs. Went out and bought a carpet. I also have soundproofing here in front of me. I bought another carpet, draped that over the table. Got soundproofing over there, but there is just walls and space here, all right? Lots of walls. All right, let's dive in. I got my phone down here, so I'll kind of be referring to that and then flash that up on a screen so you guys can follow along. Also, the first step is to taking your icons and making them into a list form over an icon form. Now, this is the only part of the tutorial where there's a paid portion, and it costs $4.99 to download this app, Dumbify. And basically what it does is turn your icons into a list form. So it just creates shortcuts. It's a fairly straightforward app. It walks you through the whole setup. You basically pick your most used apps or whatever you want and have them appear as a list. So one, this has done a few things. List is a very straightforward option. So when you pull up your phone, there's a list of things, not apps with notifications and badges and numbers that really creates that sense of urgency to suck you in. If you don't have that, it really becomes something of, do I need to use this right now? I will check it, or I can move on. It also does not invite you in like an icon does. There's a reason those are designed like that. If you have a list form, it will discourage you from opening them as frequently. Now, the other thing Dumbify does a great job of is they create a blank front screen. So your lock screen just becomes a black or a white background. Now, I know it's fun to have that amazing family picture, that cute picture of your kids up there on the background, maybe a beautiful nature scene, but that is inviting you into the phone. The phone might be just as strong as like a nicotine addiction. You think you felt the vibration, so you go to pull it up, but then it's just a blank screen with the time on it. It's less inviting to pull it up, open it up, and see what's going on in there. That's what we're trying to do, almost trick ourselves into thinking that it's not that fun in here. It's really more fun out here and what's going on in the real world. There might be other apps that do a very similar thing. If there is, let me know in the comments below, but I found Dumbify to work really well, but don't expect anything too crazy. It's a very simple app and just does one thing. Next up, turn off all notifications. All of the apps, aside from messages and calls, should not be alerting you with vidings. Yes, viding is a word I made up. It is a combination of vibration and ding. Let's see what Ali thinks about it. The term that we're going to use for when your phone rings is called a viding.
What is that? A ring or
Well,
beeps or chimes?
When your phone rings and distracts you, it's called a
Okay.
viding because it vibrates and dings.
Oh, yeah.
TM. You know what that means?
No.
Trademark. So we're going to trademark viding.
Viding. Did you make that up?
And TM here for the first. Are you cringing because you don't like it?
Yes.
Don't let the
Viding?
vidings ruin your vacation. Okay, you heard it here first. When it becomes mainstream or other people, just give me credit. Not Allie. She doesn't agree with it. Vidings will ruin your vacation if you don't control them. She doesn't like it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You don't need all the news updates. I promise you will be okay if you don't get that ding. And you really don't need those social updates. Like when Kenny from LinkedIn buzzes you because he started a new insurance business and you get pulled out of your world just to check that notification. That is a very simple thing that we should be turning off. You go into the settings section, you go into the apps, and then you don't allow those to give you notifications. You want to control your attention, not Kenny. This next one is to delete all your social apps. Just take your finger and hold it down there on that app and get them all wiggly, and then you can delete them. You won't lose your data. You'll still have your apps and you can still access them. But I encourage you to try to access them through a browser. So Safari, Google Chrome, Firefox, then you'll have to log in, type the address, log in to the app. It creates then another barrier for you to have to do that instead of making it real simple and easy with just one click. I can hear people now. TikTok is where I do my travel research, or Instagram gives me motivation. Well, you can still log into those via the browser, or you can do some of that on a desktop or a laptop. But this way it is intentional. You've sat down to do that work, and it's not just those quick 5 or 10 minutes that all of a sudden turn into 30 or 40 minutes. I know a guy who does social media is kind of weird telling you to delete your social media apps, but honestly, and I mean this, if you get 30 minutes of your day back, that is way more important to me than a view. Number 4, we can get a little bit in the weeds with, so I'm going to try to keep it very simple. But I downloaded the app called Burnout Buddy, which gives you the ability on your phone to block certain apps or give your screen time allocations. Now, if you have a newer iPhone or the newest operating system, you can do this all within the iPhone. You just go into settings, screen time, and then use the downtime function or set app limits function. So it is in your phone. Burnout Buddy just gave me a quick little notification, encourages you to get outside when you're not using them, and I felt like was very simple and easy to use. Now, the really robust feature when you can get in the weeds on the iPhone is focus modes. Now, really cool that they set these up, and if you want to get really into it, go for it. But remember, don't be overwhelmed by this step. You can stop here and move forward if you want. I don't want it to be so confusing that you just say, I'll set that up, I'll deal with it later. The focus modes give you an ability to create different modes where you have different limitations on your apps. Now, the possibilities here are really cool. And there's a few features like choosing what apps you get when you're in different modes. So on the travel option right now, what is set up is allowing notifications from maps. Of course, I want that if I'm trying to get directions to and from places while I'm traveling. And WhatsApp, which is a very false safe for me because at home I don't use WhatsApp. So when I'm out traveling, I want those notifications. It's usually a tour guide or somebody I met or an interaction while I'm having out while I'm traveling. Now, a really cool feature of this, and if you're only staying for a week, it's probably not worth it, but let's say you're set up for a month in a new place. You can set up the parameters on these modes to activate when you leave a certain location. So if you set it up as your new home base or your new house as your apartment, then when you walk out, you would only have certain notifications on your phone that are going to distract you or buzz you or ring you. And that might be stuff that's only really important or only from people that you know that you need to report back to at work, leaving you free not to be distracted or feel like you need to check if something does pull you into your phone. So if you know your phone is only going to ding or ring when it's a family member or an important person at work, then it gives you a reason to check it and doesn't leave you nervous like, oh, let me check what that ding was or let me check what that notification was, when you have 18 other things that are non-important notifications that are coming through. Remember, you can get really in the weeds with focus modes and super cool to utilize and use, but I would not get overwhelmed with this feature and I would just try to use it in the simplest form to help you stay off your phone more. The last step is a great one, and this is to grayscale your phone. And there are two options here, one kind of partially in and one going all in. So the first one's fairly easy. You hold down those 3 dots on your phone, and then you click on Edit, Customize, and then hit the tint button on the bottom of your phone. Now you can see I can scroll to kind of a green area, or I can scroll back to kind of that real white area, put it all the way in grayscale, and then you see that when you go into your apps or look at your apps, they're all in gray. Now, this makes them less inviting because even though we have removed a lot of these apps, they are still in our app library. But if you do get to them or find yourself getting to them, they're all in grayscale. But when I open the apps, like this one, when I open Maps, it's still in color. So you still get the full function if you want those features. Now, if you want to go all in, then you would go into Settings, Accessibility, Display and Text Size, and then find Color Filters. Toggle on the grayscale button. Now from here, your whole phone is turned to grayscale. So pretty wild to see and look at when I would pull up an app like Maps and everything is gray, or you find yourself in a social media app and everything is gray. It makes the whole experience way less appealing. Look, I think this is one of the hardest things to break in our generation. Really smart people have figured out how to take 12 years off your life and put it into a phone. One thing that we've learned is that your habits will follow you. As much as you think you will have self-control, willpower, and be in the moment on vacation, you will do the same thing that you do at home. So setting up some of these systems has really helped us be more in the moment while we're traveling. As a small creator, it would really help if you smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. Let me know if these tools and tricks help for your next trip. I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ways to learn how to be less distracted. This is usually the part where I recommend another video of mine to watch, but for this one, I'm going to recommend you get off the screen and go enjoy what's in front of you.